Now I want you to pay attention because sometimes this might be confusing. Let's begin that the form of a linear function in an equation form is going to be written here. I'm going to write it in purplish, whatever color that is. Linear function goes like this: y equals mx plus b. M and b are numbers. M is a coefficient. It may be any real number, and b can also be any real number. Y and x are variables. But based on this, we will be able to identify whether any equation written can be or not a linear function. So let's take a look at all these examples, all right? A, B, C, D, and E. Well, what can we say about 3.8? Well, y equals 3.8. Well, I want you to notice something. You can rewrite it as this: 0x plus 3.8. Can you see that this is similar to the way we wrote the equation of a linear function? So in this case, yes, this is linear. This is a linear function, okay? Now I want you to take a look at example B. The thing is that the square root of x immediately gives us a different situation with x. In our original, y equals mx plus b, in green I'm going to write this. The exponent of y and the exponent of x both are 1. When you do a square root, you are immediately changing that value. Square root of x is actually x raised to the power of 1/2. It means that I cannot write this equation in the form of a linear function, which means that I conclude that this is a non-linear function. All right? What happens with with C? If you compare it to the linear function form, or what we call the equation of a line, okay? You can see that x is is acting as an exponent, whereas in here in mx plus b, it's as if it were a base. So this being here, x is in the as an exponent, so it means that this is not linear. It cannot be represented as a linear function. It cannot be represented as the form y equals mx plus b. What happens with D? Even though you see some parentheses, remember what we do with parentheses? You immediately solve that distributive, right? This is 6x minus 6. Can you see that this is very similar to the form mx plus b? Because m is actually a 6 and b is actually a negative 6. So this is actually, this is a linear function. Let's take a look at E. Well, I'm going to try to solve for y first, okay? Solve for y. So we have this x squared minus y equals 0. What are we going to do? I want to make sure this y is by itself. First thing, I'm going to eliminate this x squared. So I'm going to subtract it from both sides. This one's gone, so we have negative y equals negative x squared. How do I eliminate this negative y, negative symbol, negative sign? I multiply on both sides by negative 1. And here's the thing. Now you got y equals x squared. This little thing right here makes it not just like because as you can see here, the exponent is 1. Can you see? So this is not linear. So this is a nonlinear function, so no. Hopefully, this is clear for you to identify when a function is or is not linear based on its equation. So this is it for